Nobody warns you that when your life falls apart, that's actually the moment you're about to become someone new. Your soul will break your life open long before you're brave enough to change it yourself. And when you outgrow the life you built, everything and everyone begins to shift. There's a moment in your life where everything you've been ignoring suddenly refuses to stay quiet. A moment where you feel your old self cracking, as if life is saying, right, enough pretending, who are you really? You don't choose these moments, they choose you. Sometimes it comes through heartbreak, sometimes through losing people you thought would always stay. Sometimes through digging yourself into a hole so deep you can't bullshit yourself anymore. And sometimes it just hits you on a random night, a gut feeling, a heavy silence, a realization. I can't keep living like this. When that moment hits, your entire life shifts direction, not instantly, but undeniably. It's like something inside you wakes up. A deeper version of you, the one who's been watching quietly for years, finally stands up and says, right, it's time. And if you're going through something like this, trust me, I've been there. I'm John Wright and welcome back to Slàinte Mhath. People think the hardest parts of life are the obstacles, but they're not. The hardest parts are the resets, the moments where life forces you to step back and look at everything you've been carrying. Your identity, your habits, your relationships, the direction you thought you were going. And ask yourself, was any of this actually built on who I am? And a lot of the time, the answer is no. Because real strength isn't about holding everything together. Real strength is letting go of the people who drain you, letting go of the versions of yourself that don't match your future, letting go of guilt for wanting more from your life, letting go of the old you just because it feels familiar. Letting go isn't weakness. Letting go is clearing space for who you're becoming. And clearing that space hurts because you're not just dropping habits, you're dropping identities. You're stepping away from who you had to be to survive. You're releasing attachments. You're releasing old stories. You're letting go of who people think you are. And sometimes you're letting go of the people who only loved that older version. But that's the shift. That's the quiet turning point where the future version of you finally steps forward and says, good, now we can start properly. So this is where the arrow and bow metaphor becomes real. Life doesn't pull you back to punish you. It pulls you back to position you. It's you losing motivation and not knowing why. It's you questioning your direction. It's you realizing certain people don't see you anymore. It's you feeling disconnected from your old life. It's you breaking down in the shower because no one can hear you. It's you feeling the weight of a truth you can't ignore. The real falling apart isn't loud, it's internal. You feel like you're losing yourself, but in reality you're losing the version of you that was never meant to be permanent. Because the only reason the arrow gets pulled back is so it can travel further than it ever could on its own. That's what people don't understand about pain. Pressure isn't punishment. Pressure is calibration. And if you're feeling that right now, that stretching, that discomfort, that emotional breaking, you're not failing, you're loading. So here's the truth most people never say out loud. Changing your life is lonely, not because you push others away, but because you're not the same person anymore. People love the version of you they're familiar with. They don't always love the version you're becoming. That's where the frustration comes from. One of the hardest parts of growth is this. When you grow, when you raise your standards, when you become more disciplined, more focused, more aligned, they don't always grow with you, and you can't force them to. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is walk away from the people who only see you who you used to be. They're not bad people. They're just aligned to your past, not your future. Everyone goes through a phase where nothing feels clear, nothing feels certain, nothing feels stable. You could be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. This phase is horrible. It feels like you're drifting, like you're disconnected from your own life, like you've lost the map and the compass. But this phase is where you develop internal strength, the kind you can't get from books, podcasts, or motivational quotes. Because when you're alone with your thoughts long enough, you start to hear the truth underneath them. You start seeing yourself honestly. You start noticing what needs to change. You start recognizing the patterns you've been repeating for years. This is where you grow up internally, not in age, in awareness. Every human goes through a loss phase, not dramatic but internal. There's always a moment, a very quiet, subtle one, where you decide which path you're going to take. Path 1, go back to the old version of yourself because it's familiar. Path 2, step forward into the unknown and become the person you've been avoiding becoming. And make no mistake, if you choose to evolve, you will lose people. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're no longer compatible with the version of life you had before. You're being stripped back to the core, not because you're weak, but because you're being rebuilt. This is where you learn stillness, where you sit with yourself long enough to recognize who you're meant to become. Where that quiet inner voice finally steps forward and says, "Good, now you're ready." People don't realize the hardest part of growth isn't the discipline or the habits. It's the loneliness. Not the kind where no one is around, but the kind where you suddenly don't match the life you built from your old identity. There's this weird in-between phase you have to walk through, that gap between who you were and who you're becoming. And it feels uncomfortable as hell. But that's where the real change starts. Because as you grow, the first thing that shifts isn't your routine, it's you. Your boundaries go up, your standards get sharper, your tolerance for chaos drops to zero. You stop pretending, you stop shrinking yourself. You stop giving energy to things that drain you. And then something clicks. A kind of quiet certainty shows up. This feeling of, right, I know who I'm becoming now. And when that happens, you stop negotiating with your past and your whole life starts moving differently. This moment doesn't get enough credit. One day, after weeks of confusion, heartbreak, loneliness, or pressure, you look in the mirror and you don't see the broken version anymore. You see someone rising. You see someone who survived the collapse. Someone who didn't quit when everything felt overwhelming. Someone who held on when their world was shaking. Someone who's starting to walk with purpose again. This moment is powerful because it tells you you didn't just get through the storm, you were transformed by it. So here's the truth, you're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience, from awareness, from maturity, from lessons that cost you time, heart and energy, from finally understanding who you want to be. And because of that, you start moving differently, thinking differently, speaking differently, reacting differently. You stop overthinking. You stop explaining yourself to people who aren't ready to understand you. You develop a calmness that comes from actually seeing your life clearly. This restart is powerful because now you're building with intention. Now you're choosing direction instead of surviving it. That's the moment life stops feeling like chaos and starts feeling like alignment. This is where things finally get exciting, because after surviving the storm, after rebuilding your foundation, after shedding the identity that was weighing you down, your purpose starts calling you again. Not dramatic, not Hollywood, not fireworks, but a steady pull. You start wanting more from life again. You start feeling that fire coming back into your chest. You start remembering the version of you who always wanted big things. Purpose doesn't shout, it whispers, and you begin rebuilding your life the right way this time. Your routine, your habits, your mindset, your relationships, your boundaries, your purpose, piece by piece, brick by brick, step by step. And yes, people will underestimate you during this phase because they can't see the changes yet, but you can feel them deep down, and that's all that matters. There you are, not the broken you, not the frustrated you, not the conflicted you, not the version of you trapped in old patterns, the real you, the one you forgot, the one you buried under responsibilities, expectations and noise. This is the moment your new life begins, not with applause, not with big signs, not with dramatic turning points, but with a quiet recognition. You're not lost anymore. This is the version of you that's been trying to break through for years, the version that was always there underneath the layers, waiting for you to finally stop living on autopilot. You start living intentionally. You start making decisions based on who you're becoming, not who you were. You start creating momentum. You start building a life that actually feels like your life. This is where your discipline becomes natural, where your habits shift from effort to identity, where your purpose stops feeling confusing and starts feeling obvious. You're not forcing it anymore, you're aligning with it. And this version of you, this is the real one, the one that was hidden under years of noise, survival and distraction. This is the life you were always capable of. You just needed to step into the version of yourself who could receive it. If you're watching this right now, if you're hearing these words, there's a reason. You're in a season of letting go. And yes, it's uncomfortable, it's emotional, it's confusing. It feels like you're losing everything, but you're not losing. You're releasing. You're clearing space for your real life. You're stepping away from versions of yourself that were holding you back. You're making room for the person you're meant to become. You're redirecting your entire life, and one day, sooner than you think, you'll look back at this season and realise that was the moment everything changed. Not because life handed you something, but because you finally chose yourself. So here's the message, straight from the future version of you. Stop playing small. Stop living as an outdated version of yourself. Stop delaying the life you know you want. Step forward. This is your life. Let go. Release the weight. Walk forward. Transform. Rise. Your future self is waiting for you.